Hello, welcome back to Lloyd and JD, the best fucking podcast in the world. I'm Lloyd.
I'm JD.
And we have a guest today. We haven't had a guest in a while. It's been like, what, 3 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Seemed longer to me.
Yeah.
And tell me your name.
My name is Nick Morrison.
Nick Morrison, and you're in a rockabilly band. If I'm not.
I am in a rockabilly band, yes, absolutely.
So,
among other things.
Among other things.
Among
yeah.
other things, like many that we've had on the show with lots of things going on. So what else do you have going on?
Where to start? Okay, so rockabilly band, Stickshift Suicide. We're a Calgary-based project.
Okay.
Mostly do covers. We've got a few originals and things, but mostly it's, wedding band stuff and bars if they're willing to have us in, which is very...
Weddings are cool.
Weddings can be very cool, absolutely. Birthday parties,
I could
private
see
functions.
that being a cool gig.
Yeah, it
weddings.
can be a lot of fun.
I'd enjoy that, I think.
Yeah.
There's food. People are really happy on weddings,
Usually.
The girls are really loose.
You love the movie Wedding Singer?
Wedding Singer? I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No, it's one of the movies I like. It seems boring.
Wow.
Doesn't it? It doesn't.
He likes the idea of wedding singers.
Wedding Crasher, watch that.
Yeah,
great.
That's a good one.
Great.
Absolutely.
Wedding Singer, I thought, it looked boring. More like a drama.
Like
a
you're saying it, Wedding Singer sounds great. Movie looks boring. Getting mixed messages there, but
yeah, because actually doing it, watching the movie of someone singing a wedding.
Right.
It's not just that. There's like two scenes that they sing in a wedding.
Okay, well, that's my idea of the movie right off the bat. And I was just like, I don't know. And I thought maybe it was one of the movies that he was in that isn't a comedy. When comedians try to do that.
No, it was a comedy.
Yeah, no, but when they try to be serious, and you're like, it's fucking weird. Like when Jim Carrey was in 23, and you're like, oh, okay,
yeah.
What are you doing with your life?
Yeah,
thought it was gonna be
Still a really cool movie though.
It was all right. Jim Carrey killed it for me. It's like
Really?
honestly the worst movie he's ever been in my opinion.
Worse than Cable Guy?
I love Cable Guy.
I love
dude.
Cable Guy too.
That's an amazing
it's
movie.
One of my favorite movies.
I fucking love it.
For sure.
It's Jordie. Jordie is Cable Guy. No, I'm joking. So what else?
So rockabilly band, Stickshift Suicide. We do all the private functions and whatnot. Although lately in the current economic times, it's been a little bit rougher. We had go back almost a year to Christmas time. We had 4 corporate bookings and they all canceled because they just shut down their Christmas parties. And I mean, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah. They shut down the Christmas party?
I know. I was just like, we'll come and
play for free. You allowed to do that? They cancelled Christmas?
They cancelled Christmas. Scrooges.
I know. Unbelievable. And yet they probably just still rolling in the dough.
Likely. Some of these oil companies, right? I don't know.
Yeah, they only made like 100 million instead of 300.
200. You couldn't pay for a fucking Christmas party for your employees?
Yeah. Pretty crazy. But yeah, freelance musician. I play guitar.
Okay.
Really is what I do professionally.
So you'll do anything?
Absolutely, yeah. So I'll put a piece of music in front of me and I'll play it.
So I could have some fun with you.
Absolutely.
I could just rent him out for like the weirdest scenarios ever.
Yeah.
Just like waiting in the bank. I want you to play.
Well,
while
I have a couple rules.
Okay.
So as long as it doesn't hurt me financially.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't hurt me physically. Okay. As long as it doesn't humiliate me or my family.
I like how you have these rules in play. Like if something happened in the past.
I've been at this a long time.
I feel like these are well thought out. These are really well thought out rules.
Yeah.
Well, when you're asked to show up and roll around in Jello with a tutu and all sorts. I've had some strange gigs. When you start out and you got no money, you're like willing to do anything, right?
That sounds like a good time. Kind of. What did they ask you to do?
It was a private function, and they had hired me specifically to come and play some music, and then between playing the music, they had a whole costume outfit that they wanted me in, and between playing music, I had to be Jello wrestling there was like a midget and there was a strong woman.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
It was okay. So I'm from.
Where do you find a strong woman and a midget and Jello?
I don't know. But
on whose rider does it say too? Like in between says you will Jello wrestle a midget and a strong woman.
It was part of the show, right?
How do you find
there
these
were like
employers?
trick dogs and all sorts of weird stuff. So I'm from Windsor, which is right across the border from Detroit.
Okay.
And if you've never been to Detroit, there's a rich history of music and circus sideshow performers. Also out of Windsor, some of the biggest like wrestlers came out of that area. So it's that kind of promotion culture. There's a lot of folks there and they do some really weird stuff. And it was a birthday party for one of the old I guess wrestling promoters he was. And he loved circus sideshow type stuff.
Holy crap! Can you imagine the podcast that we were living there? Gee, the people we
Yeah.
get on the show. I need a woman strong lady on here. That's hilarious.
She was cool though.
And some
Well,
Jello.
if you want, we can set up a Jello pool in the background, and you and
And a
Jordie
midget?
can wrestle.
You're gonna get a midget?
You can get a midget
If
too,
we
and
can
you
get a-
guys
if
can
we can
wrestle
get a
in
midget,
between
I'm
takes
down,
with
'cause
Jordie in the
I've always wanted to
backyard.
wrestle midget.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, you know, Kid Rock and his crew, that's where they're from, right? So those guys, they've all went through, maybe to varying degrees, but all went through that sort of promotions process for circus, for traveling
So I'm guessing
carnivals.
you didn't do that gig though.
I did.
You did that
Yeah,
gig?
I was 20, man. I needed money.
It's-
I was like, let's
That's
go.
Awesome. So you wrestled in Jello
Yeah.
with a big lady?
Well, she
Did you win?
No.
No.
She beat the crap
What about
out
the
of me.
midget? You beat the midget.
I beat the midget.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
That's awesome.
I had to not hurt the midget.
That's legend status. That's a legend status. Like, as a party story, it's pretty legend.
It is a
status.
pretty good party story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one facet is the guitar playing. But you know, as you get older and as you go through different tours and you work for different people and you do all sorts of different things, you start kind of getting tired of the road.
Yeah.
I'm married now. Obviously, and when I was 20, I wasn't.
Yeah.
So, you know, you want to spend more time at home.
Yeah.
And you sort of morph out of that road mentality of drink and, you know, have fun and do crazy shit.
Yeah.
And so you look for a way, okay, well, how do I still remain creative, make a living, play music? And that's when I got into writing music for film and television.
Sweet.
So it's a really cool.
And what does that consist of then, if you're writing for music and television? So like commercials or
so commercials, jingles, sure.
Epic.
The very first, and this is actually a long time ago. I was 16, so this is 20 years
I love
ago.
a good jingle, me.
But yeah, the very, very first thing I ever did was a jingle for IGA. I don't think we have IG out in Alberta, but
it rebranded to Sobeys.
Right.
It's hilarious because my mum likes this episode because our family are literally jingle kings. Like, if my dad hears a good jingle on the fucking TV, he will sing that motherfucker all day long. Like, you'll hear him outside just working in the garden. Same part of the song over and over
just
again.
over and over.
Or a
The
jingle
earworms.
fan. Love it. Loving it.
It's like, what was that, Judge Dredd? No, it was Demolition Man, where 40 years in the future, they've brought music down just to the 30 seconds, just the good stuff.
Yeah.
And like the jingles are the best things. The Oscar Mayer Wiener song.
Straight up. I love a jingle, me.
But
That's a great job.
It is. It's a lot of fun. It's very different.
Was it hard to get into?
Yes, and it still is.
Yeah, because...
But yeah, so like jingles, what I focus on mostly is incidental music. So what that means, let's say you've got a scene, they're driving a car and they want some really cool music behind it to represent kind of what the character's feeling, and whatever's going on. But what they want is AC/DC's Back in Black. But for a lot of these shows, like if it's a, you know, a CTV production or, you know, Film Board of Canada or something, whatever, they've only got $2,000 for music, not $200,000.
Yeah.
So they'll go to a music production library, or they'll go to a guy like me and say, we need a song that sounds kind of like AC/DC's Back in Black, no vocals, just the guitars and drums and whatever else, and we need 35 seconds of it. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Yes. You give them your sample and they say, great, we love it, or no, we don't, or we love it, but can you make a couple small changes, whatever.
Yeah.
And then away you go. Sweet. And so that industry, it can be hard to break into. You got to know the right people. Mm-hmm. You got to have a good manager or a good managers. But once you make your first 1 or 2 connections, from there, more and more work comes. Like I find the bulk of my work comes from the exact same 2 contacts that I got right at the very beginning.
Okay.
You know, 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So there's that. And that's a lot of fun. Mostly incidental stuff. And then, of course, I will do custom stuff too. Yeah. If the price is right and if the project is cool. I was approached maybe 5 years ago to do like an EDM track. Right. So like I play guitar, I play rockabilly. I've done the gambit from country music to heavy metal to rock to, you know, I toured across Canada doing show tunes. I did Grease, I did Hair, I did Mamma Mia.
Did Grease?
Yeah, which is a lot. I mean, fits perfectly with
Grease
rockabilly.
is fucking awesome.
But
gotta love Grease.
Yeah.
But I forgot where I was going with that.
Oh fuck, dude.
That's it. I'm fired. All right. See you later.
That's my life.
Interview over.
That's my life.
What was I talking about?
Since I met marijuana. Fuck, dude. I'm the same way. I don't know. Oh god, no, I've blanked as well. Were you
You were talking about how you went from jingles and all that, what you've done.
Oh, right.
Sort of
So the custom music, the EDM track.
I'm a pothead, dude.
So the only thing that I've never really done is electronica, right? Because I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s. It was all about hair metal and Metallica and, you know, whatever, that kind of thing. So electronica to me was always like, oh, that's like stupid shit. Those are people that aren't musicians. They just push buttons and whatever.
But then for me, it's stupid shit because I like DJs. Like with the DJ decks, that I prefer that type of electronic music.
Yeah.
To some guy actually playing it off of his laptop.
For sure.
That's a buzzkill.
Well, I mean, for me, as I've grown up, like I'm much older now and more mature, I can appreciate the skill that it takes to spin. I can appreciate the skills that guys like Deadmau5 and Skrillex have for the production that they do. I don't get off on watching them hit a space bar and play the music and
like I know there's talent in like they have a thing in their mind and they put it onto their laptop using all these different sounds, blah blah blah. But I still think it's crap. But you know, I understand that it does take some sort of, you know, rhythmic talent to be able to make that
I think
beat.
producing the song from scratch, like a lot of the bigger guys
to DJ
do, is
mint.
It takes talent, obviously,
Absolutely.
and it takes an understanding of music.
Like
but
a good DJ.
What I don't get is the performance part.
Yeah,
right?
Why are you there?
Why are you there to watch him
exactly.
go?
Like,
I'm going to press play just like you do.
Have you seen
home.
the dub over when he does the beginning to the Euros? He's like, I'm going to push this button. Who wants to hear me push the button now? It's fucking hilarious. He's like, I need my headphones again. It's hilarious.
It's amazing.
But DJs were sweet.
Absolutely, and
that's a good DJ. Just awesome.
It's an instrument onto itself.
It's phenomenal. I took DJ lessons when I was younger because we used to go to the YMCA to get us out of the park every Wednesday, get all the kids off the street and teach free lessons. And it's hard. It's not fucking easy.
No.
To you know, connect these two discs, and especially when they start scratching and making their own beats.
Absolutely.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
What they do is brilliant. But did you do your EDM track?
So the EDM thing, right? So I was approached, they asked me to do it, and I said, well, you know what I do, right? So, because like I have a website and it's advertised, I make evocative rock for media, is what I call it, right? So you got to have a real specific tag so people can figure out what you do and decide, do I want to try working with this guy?
Yeah.
So they said, oh yeah, we know, but we know you, we've heard great things about you, we want you to do this track. Okay, so I thought, all right, well, I'm going to quote them the most ridiculous price ever because that way they'll never agree to it. I quoted them $18,000 and they said, okay.
Oh, God.
You see, I love that strategy. I love that strategy because
I'd make an EDM track for that.
I do the same thing with illustration. If I'm really kind of on the fence about it, I'm like, this is not where we want to go with this. I'm the same way. I was like, normally I'd charge $1,500, but for you, $5.
Yeah.
And then they say yes, and you're like,
shit.
Oh,
now I gotta figure out how to make it. So that's exactly what happened. They said, okay, no problem. And they had like a deposit in my account within 2 hours. And I'm like, oh, crap.
Holy shit.
Now I gotta figure out how.
Now it's real.
I'm like, now I gotta figure out how to do this. And it actually turned out to be one of the best things I've ever done.
Fun?
It was a lot of fun.
Did you have to buy
I ended up having to buy certain samples and things. I created a bunch.
But then again, with the $18,000 that they paid you.
Well, yeah, exactly. It was all good, right?
Crazy.
And it was great, and I had a lot of fun with it. They loved it. Yeah. They thought it was great, and I mean, I don't know what the heck's happened to it since, but I mean, it's out there in the ether. That was like a complete buyout deal, right? So like, it was a custom one-off. It's theirs.
They do whatever the fuck they want with it.
Whereas with like film and music stuff,
and that speaks probably to why they were willing to pay the price as well, right? Because usually you have royalty kickbacks on all this stuff as well.
Sounds great though.
Yeah. Like that's like the film and TV stuff. So like, getting back to the Back in Black sound alike track, sometimes they'll pay up front like $200, $300, $500, something like that. Sometimes as much as $1,000 or $1,500. But most times it's nothing up front, and then you get royalties on the back end once it's used. But
royalties are nice though.
They are nice because you do the work once. And then 2 years, 3 years, 4 years,
you're
5
still
years,
seeing
10 years later, you're still getting residuals,
which is great,
which is awesome. Yeah,
random checks in the mail. Who can argue, right?
Well,
what's this for again?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody really uses checks anymore.
Oh, they don't.
It's all
email.
digital.
Jesus.
Yeah.
even I'm not even up with.
That was the best way to get royalty checks, though, is when you get the
checks
mail,
are great. I love that piece of paper.
Like,
You'd
be like, this is.
The last time I actually got a physical check was probably 2010.
Because Google still send you checks.
Yeah.
Google still send you checks in the mail.
They will if you you have to register your.
But you can get checks from Google, which is the way to do it because it's awesome.
Yeah. They won't let you do it anymore.
What the fuck?
Oh, okay,
anybody from this point forward cannot.
Well, that's hurt.
Yeah,
it's it saves them money in the long run, right?
Fuck off.
Cutting checks is expensive.
Print it on a piece of paper, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I like to see it.
Yeah.
I like to go deposit it.
Like that scene from Wayne's World. We got $5,000. We got $5,000.
It's fun.
But yeah, no, I'm with you. I used to love seeing royalty checks in the mail.
Yeah.
It's like,
I've
sometimes
never
it's
actually
funny.
seen one. I don't want you to get it. I've never actually gotten a royalty check. I can just imagine how good it feels.
Yeah. Although sometimes it's funny. It's like, fourth quarter is like 53 cents. Like, all right.
Yeah. I've got a few of those.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
who cares? It's a check.
Yeah, a check is a check. It's
even looks good at the bank when you got like.
But again,
8
a lot of
checks.
times, when you're getting stuff like that, like I think last royalty check I got for my film, my film was like 9-10 years old. So I mean, it's like, oh, okay, somebody obviously watching it, or a few people are still watching it,
which is cool.
Yeah. So I mean, it's especially, I mean, it's even with big productions. Like you think about big blockbuster movies, they spike and then it's so it's like a rock.
Yeah.
So.
And then 20 years later, it's 2015, which is
and then they just make it again.
Fly travels to.
Unless it's Interstellar, and then you just
blows up again.
Or or in that case,
because Interstellar was like the best movie ever made.
But Interstellar,
phenomenal movie. Oh my god,
phenomenal.
Oh my god,
Love
I got a
the
quarter
soundtrack.
chub just talking about.
Well,
it.
but it's so funny when you have iconic movies like that. So you can see a shift since Interstellar came out to more ambient-based soundtracks, drone-based soundtracks, like Trent Reznor and I forget his name right now. Hans Zimmer did Interstellar, but that type of music, there's so much more call
honestly,
for that.
Don't even remember the music in that movie because I'm just so fixated on the black fucking hole that he was floating over.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
When I watch it again, I will take a note of
But
that.
see, that's
I've seen it about 3 times, so the next time I
between-
watch it, I can pay attention to some other shit.
But you're like a visual artist, right? Like you do tattooing and stuff?
I don't do tattooing. He did tattooing. I do drawing. I went for a tattoo apprenticeship that failed, and now I just do.
It could be tough, I guess.
Yeah, my mentor failed. I was under a failure.
Yeah,
so,
I can vouch for that. I was in the same studio and I watched the disaster from afar. And when you're in the same studio as artists, you can't get involved. It's like, well,
I like logos.
He's his, and
logos is my thing.
Right. But again, visual media, right?
Yeah,
so
I like logos.
When I watch a movie, I'm usually listening to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I'm mentally taking notes.
Because that's what you.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
And then lastly, okay, so I'm rambling, but lastly, the other thing that I do is music for video games.
Oh, fuck yes.
So
it's gonna go better.
Yeah.
It's like the best episode we've ever done.
So I actually co-own a studio in Vancouver.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're called. What did we change the name to?
So what is what does it do?
So okay, well,
sorry,
so
I'm eager to learn.
It's not Samurai Fingers.
No, that's like my online YouTube.
Okay.
So you only do the music, or the company only does the music?
No. So the company, which is String Theory Entertainment.
Okay.
So we develop
Games.
Right.
Oh my god, I got a quarter chub right
And
now, dude.
at this point,
like the
we're
best
sort
job
of in
ever.
flux. There are a few ideas in the back burner, this and whatever else.
Yeah.
We've got one property that we've been working on for the better part of 10 years.
Sweet.
And what I do for them, so I'm the music prime, I guess, if you will. Like I'm the head composer, sound designer, Foley guy, re-recording mixer, like all that kind of stuff. And I oversee other people that will work with us. Obviously, I don't live in Vancouver now, so
But if I move to Vancouver,
different,
I'm hired basically,
totally
drawing video games. Right?
Yeah. So our premier title that we've been working on is called Anthem.
Okay.
Although again, we had to sort of change that name for various legal reasons, so it's actually Maestros of the Anthem now.
Okay.
Basically, Geddy Lee and his boys had a shit fit because Anthem is the same as Anthem Entertainment, which is their management company. I shouldn't say had a shit fit. It was.
And that's the name of the game?
Yeah, the name of the game.
See, I always find stuff like that curious because I mean, for those who know Canadian copyright law, it's basically as long as it's going to cause confusion, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you can have Anthem tires and Anthem, they can't do anything about it. And I would say there's a big enough difference there that you're not going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
too is that a lot of times those guys are pretty zealous.
Often, yeah. Well, because that's how they make their living.
Well, because they'll go after it. I mean, my company, Paint Inc. You know, I've had my legal stuff with that as well, where people have taken my trademark and then tried to sue me over my trademark. Yeah. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, whatever.
Well, and it's funny because their anthem is ANTHEM, which is the way that you'd think of anthem. Ours is ANTHYMN.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the anthemic hymn.
So what is this game?
So it's not out yet. There's been a few It's a long haul. Let me tell you, making a video game, if you're a small independent studio, is one of the hardest fucking things that you're ever going to go through in terms of development, raising funds, hiring the right people, firing the wrong people, developing and going along. So basically the premise of the game is that there is this country called Korra, and the secret power, the magic that powers the universe is music. Each province represents a different kind of style. So we've got the mountainous punk rockers. We've got the sea island nation that's kind of new age whimsical type stuff. We've got the lowland dwarfs that like the hard rock, heavy metal, that kind of stuff. Okay. And they're all sort of vying for dominance. And the main character that you play, essentially kind of like a prince, decides, you know what, we should all work together, and he wants to unite the provinces under one anthem and make it into one country by learning sort of the power of music. So we kind of went down an educational route at the very beginning, and then kind of decided, that wasn't quite exactly where we wanted to go. 3-4 years ago now, we did like a huge Kickstarter, and it made like a huge impact. People were really excited, really interested in it, because we were going to do an MMO. Yeah. Very quickly realized that we were way out of our depth on that. MMO, for people that don't know, well, you know, I'm sure, right? A massively multiplayer online role-playing game, or more picker, I guess, would be the that thing. And it takes just like more money than we had ever.
Well, and your servers have got to be your servers have got to be good.
And then so it's sort of morphed. There's a few different variations and things right now.
The biggest piss off in the world is when servers just keep dropping.
Yeah, exactly. That is so there was a huge focus. Everybody was really excited, and then ultimately that Kickstarter failed because halfway through, somebody pointed out like, hey, these guys are only trying to raise like $1 million. They're going to need 500 million if this thing's ever going to launch, And we went, oh shit, you're right.
Yeah.
So it's changed. It became kind of a handheld, like a tablet type based thing, which is still, we actually have a full playable actual demo right now. And then there's a few other projects that it's sort of morphed into at that point, but that's about as much as I can say, because we're now in talks and various things. With
nice.
There has to be a way though, because even games like Ark Survival, which we play, which is a huge role play game, like massive, like 70 people in a game. They made the game on what, $1.5 million, $1.3 million, Jordie? What was it? They made 10 million when they bought it out, but what did they make? They made the game for like $1 million, wasn't it? And they were hurting. Like they made it for $1 million, and that was beta. Yeah. And they were hurting. Yeah. And the minute they bought it out for beta, they made $10 million. Yeah. Off of Xbox One. Yeah. Pillaged.
Oh, that's good. But I'm gonna start wrapping things up here because we're almost out of time.
Geez. So wow, that was fast.
Guys are looking to find you, where's the best place to look for you?
Probably the fastest and easiest, www.samuraifingers.com, because that encapsulates, hey, here's the YouTube, here's the Reverb Nation, whatever else. If they're specifically looking for rockabilly stuff, it's reverbnation.com/Stickshift Suicide.
I have Samurai Fingers.
Yeah.
In and out.
There you go, man.
And out. Ninja Fingers, maybe I should call them.
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, Facebook though?
And I do have Facebook. There's Facebook for
our viewers love Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, they love it.
Yeah. For sure. Well, I'm going to make sure to give you guys the links for
that.
Yeah,
we always throw the links below. So everyone, we'll put your website below. We'll do all that stuff so it's easier for them to find you.
And my band is playing in Calgary June 17th, last night of Stampede. Down at Backwards Nightclub on 8th
June 17th?
July 17th.
I was going to say, whoa. Did I just travel? Yeah. Holy shit,
it's
boys.
A weird Doctor Who moment, right?
Okay, well, I'm Lloyd.
I'm JD.
And I've been Nick.
And that was a pleasure having you, dude.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
See ya.